good afternoon. Thank you for joining me today on my first new IG Live series, Q&A with Creatives. I am your host, Sheila Kaufman, the designer of Sheila Frank. Each week, we'll be chatting with artists, designers, photographers, costume designers, stylists, musicians, you name it. I'm new to this thing, so let's make sure that this works. There are so many talented people who I admire, and I wanted to share them with you. So, this is a live chat. If you'd like to interact with us, please comment below, and let's get this thing started. Let's make sure my phone is not shaking. All right, so our first guest ever is graphic designer and photographer Andrea Valdespino. Let's get you in here.
Hello.
Yeah! Hi! Oh my goodness, I'm nervous. Sorry.
I've never done.
Good afternoon. Good morning to you. You are, What time is it there?
9 a.m.
Okay, cool. You're on the West Coast. You're in California. Yep. Awesome. Yay! So, Andrea's awesome. I met Andrea I gotta stop with the faces already. I met Andrea many moons ago, like 2008, I think. On MySpace, of all places. I was very much into retro, rockabilly, vintage. I was doing swimsuits at the time, and Andrea was one of my models. So, from modeling to graphic design to photography, you are multifaceted. And so, let's get started. So, where did you get your start? You started as a graphic designer?
Yeah, I always drawn. When I was little, I wanted to be illustrator and a book, I guess an author, even though I didn't.
Oh, cool.
But I think I just really like the illustrations and books. So I was like, that's what I want to do. So went to college for animation media arts. And then right after college, I got my first job doing graphic design for a company in Pacoima, which is near the valley. The Valley. It's got a boring name. It was called Dorothy Thorpe. Sounds like an old lady. But we did screen printing, product design. We did pretty much any souvenir type things you saw in many stores, and especially on the Vegas Strip at that time. I probably me and my art director designed everything. So like mugs, t-shirts, keychains.
So you got to see your work. Like, you got to see your work in stores.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, so how cool is that?
Yeah. So when I went to Vegas, I'd be like, go check out the souvenirs and send me pictures, because we probably did like most of the stuff. I'm like, I even have a couple up on the shelf right here. And
that's
got lots of stuff in Hustler we did at that time.
Oh, wow.
So, and M&M. So just lots of random.
M&M the candy?
Yes.
Awesome. So I was just trying to make a joke, but that wasn't funny. Oh, that's so cool. So what did you do next? You did a lot of things. So I know. Oh, cool.
So this was like Hustler. I don't know. I have a couple things.
Very cool.
Okay.
So when did you get into modeling? Was that like a happy accident? Because it was for me when I met you.
I think it was by accident. It was just something creative. And it just kind of fit in with, I didn't like plan to get into pinup rockabilly. That's just what was fun and what the people I was around, and just around a lot of creatives that wanted to make stuff. So much trading and collaborations going on. I feel like it's a lot like that right now. So it was like a cool time. Like you're like, hey, I'm gonna name this. Yeah. Like, okay, that's rad.
Yep. I named a swimsuit after you.
Yeah.
It was a really neat time. I graduated college in 2007 and immediately started working on my portfolio of work, which I did not know that I would end up having my own business when I was doing that. I intended to work for someone else. So I was just really into swimwear, and I was hoping to get into the resort genre. And that's when it worked out perfectly, because that, I think too, is when in 2008 is when like the internet, like MySpace,
Yeah.
Facebook, and do you remember Model Mayhem?
Yes.
That's made a lot of my connections. I don't know what it's like today, but for anybody that doesn't know what it is, it's kind of like a Facebook for creative people. And that's where I got to meet Shannon, who is a good friend of yours and photographer. And so I got to do some things with her too. But yeah, so let's see. I'm not normally a host, as I stutter. Sorry. I'm normally the one getting questions asked. So let's see. You and I talked a little bit about anxiety and how that a lot of us artists deal with anxiety, and we use art in a way to cope with that. And it's funny because artists, I think we're all anxious. But we talked about that and how you also dealt with postpartum depression and ultimately developed an eating disorder and went through treatment. And so let's talk about that stuff. I think now we're at a time where it's a good time to be open, and we're able to discuss these things. So talk to me.
Yeah, I'm all about being open, and it was such a bizarre experience being diagnosed with these things, and like, oh, I had no idea. So just so many people can be out there having these issues and not even realize what it is, and not know that there's help out there. So it's difficult to help yourself when you don't even know what's going on. So yeah, and ultimately all the things that I've gone through all stem from anxiety, which I've always had developed when I was a child. And I've just been trying to navigate through life, trying to get, and I've always sought help with that, but I think the most I've ever learned and taken away from it was when I actually went into treatment. And I was forced into treatment because I was basically gonna die. I had no idea what was wrong with me. The doctors I was seeing were making it worse. I accidentally ended up in an eating disorder facility, and they ended up helping me. So I saw about 20 doctors in the span of 8 months. The last 2 doctors figured out that I was having SSRI withdrawal syndrome, which was causing these major physical reactions in my body to anything that I did. So they got me on a medication to help counteract that. And then I was put in the facility where they literally had to reteach me how to eat for 3 months. And then it continued on at home. I'm still, I've been out for 3 years now. And I think I'd say I'm just about stabilized right now. It was a long process. So 3 months intense inpatient therapy, and then just outpatient, coming back to life, learning how to live, figuring all this out.
So aside from medication part of it, when you were in-person therapy, was there opportunity for art therapy, music therapy?
Oh yeah, there was. The second phase of the therapy was residential, which was amazing. I didn't want to leave. And there was music therapy, drama therapy, and art therapy, plus yoga. It was pretty amazing. Yeah, very well taken.
How awesome. That's awesome. So what, from that experience, because again, I know a lot of people deal with depression and anxieties, it's going to be a weird question, but what has come out from that? Like, how do you feel that you've changed as an artist?
Well, I didn't think, there's 2 parts of my life where it just was impossible to be creative, and I just gave up on it, and that was very depressing, because that's just what I love to do. It's what I do naturally. It's what brings me joy. So I've learned that that's my self-care. I need that.
Yep.
And self-care for one, you cannot.
Nice said, yes.
Yeah, you cannot care for other people unless you know, the old saying, if your cup is empty, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if you have not self-cared, if I have not taken care of myself, and we've, you know, it's been a long process figuring out what that is. So yeah, doing my creative things, moving my body in an appropriate amount, eating properly, you know, yeah, like things like yoga, exercise, getting those endorphins. That's all self-care, you know, getting dressed, taking a shower. I can't put these off to take care of other people. I need to do these basic things so that I can fulfill and you be a good mom, be a good wife, you know.
It's interesting that you say self-care, that the art outlet is self-care. I had the conversation with my husband too because of COVID and what's been going on, having to shut down for 100 days. And he said to me, like, what would you do if you had to close? What is there? And I was like, I'm not closing, I'm not stopping, I'm not quitting. I would be so unhappy, and I'm like you too, like if you're not, that's how we live, that's how we thrive. We get our creative stuff out. That's why we do what we do.
And that got shut down and you're doing this. So
I'm doing it. Yes. I think, yes, as artists, well, sorry, I didn't mean to jump over you, but as artists and creatives, we're always looking for new ways to learn and grow and do new things. And that's with what's been going on. Like, I've been offering virtual appointments is a different type of way to do things. Just never stop learning. And you said too, oh, I got to look at this. Now I'm going to look at my notes. I asked you what it is that you want to achieve or want to do. You said that you'd like to grow mentally, to teach your children how to exist in the world to their fullest and not be held back by anxiety. And that is awesome. I want you to like start an organization or like do something with that.
I would love to, but I'm just like the juggling. I don't
like right now. Who's behind you? Say hi.
I'm like, I've got AZD, I've got OCD, I've got anxiety. Now I've got to deal with this. You know, the eating disorder is pretty much taken care of, but it's still there. All stem from anxiety. Could come out if I overwhelm myself. So, gosh, if I had an atypical brain, I just imagine like I would rule the world. But I feel very constrained by the anxiety, and I really need to pick and choose what I put my energy into, or else I get overwhelmed. And there's not a lot of room for rest when you've got two rambunctious kiddos. So.
A creative life, and yeah, that is a lot. Oh, well, thank you for sharing that with me. I really appreciate that. So, hey, we're gonna circle around. I was wondering, well, what advice would you give to a young artist out of school, because people are just graduating now, and looking to get into an art field? Just a generalization, what would you say?
Don't stop. If it's your passion, don't stop. Don't ever stop. I've completely quit multiple times now, and I'm back to doing it. So the first time I just said, everyone's gonna forget about me. You know, I'm not producing all this content. You know, I'm gonna lose everything. I'll have to rebuild. I'll be nobody. And that's not really what happened. It's like I just went back into what I love, and the people that enjoyed it came back.
Absolutely. And I think so I feel like social media is a double-edged sword with that, because as an artist, you want to keep putting your stuff out there. You want people to be engaged, but then you also feel like if you're not, that, like you just said, they're going to forget about you. But honestly, I feel like in the reality of it, because, okay, I've been doing this since 2008, but my business model has changed so much. People, if they're interested, they will come back, and it's like a best friend. Like, you pick up right where you left off. So, oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think now is the time too. I think about when I graduated college and how all of this social media stuff was not what it is today. And I can only imagine where I would be in my career, where you would be in your career if it was like that. So I hope kids take the opportunity right now and work on their businesses and
not focus
make
on the social.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
At one point,
don't care what people say.
Yeah, I built up my Instagram, and I got most of my work. First, it came from MySpace, then it came from Facebook. Now, most of my commissions come from Instagram. And at one point,
Yeah.
5,000 followers on Instagram. I got hacked by some weird Russian bikini model thing. I had to shut down. I restarted. I've got like 700 followers, but I just had to get into the mindset that that's not what matters. I need to be working on what I care about, not what I think is going to get me more followers. So
more likes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Navigate what's important, but what it ultimately comes down to is like what we're saying, self-care. What brings me joy and fulfillment? Is creating stuff that I am proud of, or is it just making a bunch of junk and promoting myself to get some followers?
Yep.
So
I completely understand that within my own business, and that's why I think that I love this word right now that everybody's using, pivoting. I think that's why my business always has pivoted to different things, because I may have launched before I was ready, but I was learning as I was going. But unfortunately, during that time, over the last 9 years in particular, I listened to everybody's opinion. And it wasn't until January 2020 that I was like, this is what I'm doing. This is what makes me happy. And if people like it, they'll buy it.
Yeah.
There's so many talented people, and it's not everybody's cup of tea. But I love it. What is behind you? What is that? That's so awesome. Is it a self-portrait?
No, this is in 2009. Gustavo Ramada painted that of me.
Oh, wow.
Organic and amazing.
My God, that's awesome. Wow.
And somebody has it tattooed on their body. I don't know who they are.
What?
Yeah. And I was like, my face tattooed.
Do you have a picture of that?
Somewhere on my computer.
Oh, cool. I'll look for it. Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know who it is, but I was like...
That's amazing. Well, when I save this and then we upload it and stuff, I'm putting it into YouTube, I'll put some pictures, because I'll put the photo of you in the Andrea swimsuit.
Andy Pandy. I still have it. I didn't do it.
Oh, yay. You're like one of my first pinup models. You and Bernie Dexter, of all things. Fun fact. One thing that I wanted to say to people, too, that are just starting out as creatives, and I don't know, I'm sure it's true for you, too. Don't be afraid to slide into their DMs, as people say. Don't be afraid to just shoot a casual message. And I think that's the old way of how things used to work, where everything had to be so structured and professional, and you had to reach out to a stylist, and that's the only way that you could work together. It's not, no. There's so much opportunity. And with Bernie Dexter, I'm sure you know who she is. She's a pinup model that's pretty famous. She was one of my first. I just gave it a go and said, hey, I designed these old vintagey inspired swimsuits. Would you model? And she literally just said, yeah, send them to me. And I was like, whoa.
So much fun to collaborate and join up with people. And if you don't, it's great if you have the money to purchase the things from the designer and celebrate it. That's amazing. But if you don't, you can celebrate it in other ways. Like, if you can photography, can you send me this and I'll photograph it on my model and we'll send it back. So it's it's just awesome to create. It's not always about monetary gain. It's just, I feel like it was like that maybe 10 years ago, and it's changed a little bit, and people are afraid to do that. But yeah, I wish there was more trades and collaborations and reaching out. I'll get lots of messages about collaborations, and it's mostly just people wanting me to work for free. And I'm like,
yeah, that's different.
Like, I know what's
different.
Yeah. Different. So there's
for free for photo shoots, for editorials, styled shoots. And speaking of styled shoots, so you and I hadn't worked together in quite some time after that because I went from being a swimwear designer to a ready-to-wear designer to now a bridal designer. So we weren't crossing paths along that line until recently. I have to just point this out there. I took the change in January to change my business model again because I was kind of solely working with custom.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like you said, like I was trying to think of what makes me the most happy. And I was like, producing a collection, executing the story from my mind is what makes me happy. And in saying that, you reached out to me. When was that? Was that February?
It was right before COVID, so it must have.
Okay.
Yep. February.
I was just starting to sketch my 2021. You slid into my DMs and asked if I would be interested in doing a styled shoot with you. And styled shoot, aka also an editorial for fashion people. Bridal, it's called styled. I don't know why it's different terms. Anyway, you asked if I had a dress or something that you could borrow, and so from there I asked you what your theme was. You said boho glam, and I was like, holy crap, I want to make something original for this. And in saying all of this, that dress inspired my 2021 collection, which I am now finishing. Very exciting. But I knocked out that dress in, I feel like it was 2 weeks.
Yep.
And then I sent you a picture and said, hey, I just did another one. Let me send these to you. And we were so ready and excited. And then COVID happened. So we had to stop our photo shoot. But I'm super excited. I can't wait to pick up where we left off. Because where is it that you were
excited? So we will get it.
Where is it you were? I'm sorry, I'm like jumping on top of you. The location, where was that? The photo you sent me was incredible.
I really wanted to do it in the Poppy because out where I live in the Antelope Valley.
Yeah.
And that's where the super bloom happens with the poppies. So
yeah,
they're just everywhere, literally everywhere. So there's tons of beautiful spots. And I was like, that would be such a rad location for like a bridal shoot.
Yeah. Oh, that's so awesome. Oh, I can't wait for that. That's exciting. Let's check the time. Where are we? What time is it?
Not bad.
Okay. I feel like we were talking forever because I know when we just talked the other day, we were talking for like over an hour, and I was like, whoa,
well,
we got to fill that in.
We've been face to face since we met, so I think it was exciting.
Yeah. Oh wait, I don't know, did anybody hear what you just said? Maybe we should repeat that.
Yeah, so last night, so we've talked and been in contact and been friends for a decade, but we've never done it face to face or in real life.
Or on the phone.
Yeah, or on the phone. It's
all been, and maybe I'm mysterious that way, but because I always have so much going on, I really prefer correspondence through like an email or a text so that I can like save it and write it down. That's just how my brain works. But it's really funny that I just love it. The technology is awesome because, again, how would we have done what we're doing? And now because of COVID, it's going to sound funny, it pushed me to do these virtual conversations. So now it's super cool because I feel like I'm meeting people for the first time. And it's very inspiring.
COVID's been I don't know what to call it. It's not a blessing in disguise, but there's been weird perks to it. Like I was
opportunity
from being fully recovered. There was no way I could get out of the hospital and jump back into work doing wedding photography. It's very physically and mentally taxing. So I started booking weddings, and I was going head first into getting my wedding photography back in. Booked.
Yeah.
So excited, was calling you, trying to set up these styled shoots, getting these teams together, and then COVID happened, and I'm just like, there goes literally everything. But I haven't been able to paint or illustrate in years, decades, and so that's what I'm doing for income right now. and it's working out fine.
Awesome.
Illustration is what I love to do, and I'm just like, hey, well, this is allowing me to do that and be home, and I don't have to be in a crowd for that, and people are digging it. So it's very fulfilling and exciting to have something else to go to for that creative outlet. And for because photography is just, I mean, people are doing it, but I'm not going to go to a 100-person wedding and put myself out there. I got 2 people in my household are immune compromised, so I'm trying to be very safe, and art is helping me do that. So I'm grateful for that.
I love people like you that you persevere. Like, when one door closes, another opens. It's so cliche to say, but you just find new ways to make it happen. And that's how I've been too.
Yeah, it's like saying all these issues that I've found challenging or stem from anxiety. It's creativity can also be multifaceted. So it's like I can use photography as an outlet. I can use illustration as an outlet. I can paint as an outlet. There's many different ways that you can get that fulfillment. So it's just adapting. You have to adapt to survive. And I think I've proven to myself in the last 5 years that I am highly adaptable, and I don't give up. So I feel good about knowing that about myself.
That's awesome. So what are you working on? What's up now? You said you're painting. So you don't have to show me, but if you'd like to. So you have an Etsy shop, right?
Yeah, I've got
for your art.
Yeah, where I put any originals I have, and then I have a Redbubble shop where I can make masks, t-shirts, stickers. They have lots of really cool stuff on there and not that expensive. I'm like, if you're super old, but you remember Cafe Press.
Oh my God, yes.
It's kind of the same concept, but way better.
You do custom artwork for people?
Yes, that's
cool.
Yeah, that's mostly what I enjoy doing. I love doing custom character logos, and I'm doing lots of paintings right now, which is so much fun. And
cool.
Got a nice break right now, but it was like I was good and busy this last month. It was really exciting.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. That's so good to hear. Yay! So, all right, let's wrap this up. Thank you for sharing all this with me. This was awesome. I asked you a funny question. I said, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I asked you to tell me something that I wouldn't know about you. So there's a couple funny things. What did you can shake your eyes? What does that even mean? How do you shake your eyes? I can cross my eyes.
I can see it.
Did I do it?
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Show me this. That's talent in all avenues here. What is happening?
I'm doing it. I don't know if you can tell in here.
What? I don't know. I think it's hard to
vibrate back and forth.
Do you scare your kids with that? Because that's funny.
I scared adults with it. It's pretty hilarious. I don't have many opportunities to do it. It's just like a funny part.
Yeah.
But
oh, that's cool. Oh, now we're getting to the goofy stuff. Sorry, guys. People that have tuned in, we were talking seriously, and now I'm just asking silly questions because you also said you have a murderous thumb, and I don't know what that means.
Okay.
I've never known that term. That's so weird.
My normal thumb, you would say, and here's my little stubby murderous thumb. It's called a murderous thumb because I guess like when Australia was full of convicts and they'd ship all the convicts there, it was a trait to have these thumbs.
Oh my God.
So it's called a murderer's thumb. And now they're finding out that it's a creative trait. There's lots of creative females that have. I don't
have that.
So far the most.
Now
what's that actress? She has one. Everybody made a big deal about her having one. She was in Transformers.
I know who you're talking about, and she's super famous, and I can't even think of her name, which is funny. Megan Fox.
Megan Fox, yes. Megan Fox has. So I was in IKEA once. All my sisters have one, but I've yet to meet really anybody else. But I was paying, and this woman comes up to me with her thumb and is like, ah! And I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, you have a murderous thumb. And so did she. And she somehow spotted it.
So then you should have just got your business card out and been like, here, check me out.
She's all, are you an artist? I'm like, I am. She's like, I have a theory that it's female artist related. I'm like, that's so random.
Oh, that's goofy.
That's hilarious.
Oh, I forgot to ask you. Oh my gosh, because the reason why I'm doing this is because I admire certain people. Like, you're one of them. Yay. So who do you admire? Tell me. Who do you?
I mean, Shannon's got to be. I'm the biggest fangirl of Shannon. I love her as a human being, and I'm the biggest fan of her brain, the way she creates photography.
Who say it's Shannon Brooke?
Shannon Brooke. ShannonBrookeImagery.net. If you don't know who she is, you're missing out. So if
should know.
If I'm ever in a lump, I mosey on over to her website or her Instagram and just swim in her creativity, and 100% of the time it's transferred to me. And she's so just go for it. Use my inspiration, and it's just
she's so supportive.
Yeah, so supportive. Such a blessing. Started out.
Oh, sorry.
What?
I got to work with her because of you. That stemmed into a whole spider web of different things. And when I did swimwear, she shot a bunch of my stuff on, what's her, Sabina Kelly, who's a pretty popular pinup gal. And that was neat because I got to make a custom swimsuit, which was on the cover of Deadbeat Magazine, Australia. And then she did a whole series. It was OC Weekly, which I was excited about. It was cool. But yeah, she's cool. Thank you for that introduction with her.
It's just people being creative and coming together. It wasn't like an introduction. It's like the flow of energy. I don't know.
No, it's so true. And it's so cool when you jive with people and you just continue to work together, and then word of mouth, they'll tell their friend, and it's just a whole network.
Yeah, she's
and that's
tips with my photography. Like, she's not, no, I'm not gonna tell anybody. She's so talented, and she's willing to share that with people.
Yeah.
And it's been so helpful in every aspect.
Yep. And she celebrates women and entrepreneurs, and it's awesome. And she has 2 books out now too.
I have them right up here. Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Yay. All right. Well, yeah. Well, hey, thank you. Did we lose anything out? I can't even talk. I normally am not the host, guys. So I think we did all right. But
our first time, you were entertaining.
You were my first guest. So thank you so much for chatting with me. It was awesome. It was cool. So
excited to be the first.
Anybody have questions?
Out there watching us be goofy.
I appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm excited. This is the first episode, and
somebody tells a Megan Fox.
Oh, Megan Fox. Thank you. Thanks, guys, and tune in because we have guests that I am booking out to December, which is super exciting, and people all over the world and in the film industry, fashion industry, costume design, music. It's going to be awesome. And I can't believe people said yes. So thank you, and we'll see you guys next week. Thanks, Andrea.
For having me. Super excited. Bye, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
I'm like, I don't know.